I stood powerlessly on my porch, helplessly watching my home burn. Each snap and crackle of firewood was not just devastation, it was a declaration. The HOA had overstepped themselves. What they didn't know was they'd just gone after the wrong guy. I wasn't just some regular retiree. I was Judge Rhett Whitaker, Federal Circuit, retired. I had presided over mob trials, corporate corruption, and political scandals for 30 years. I'd seen power flipped and lies sharpened into tools of control. I'd seen injustice too. When I bought the house on the corner of Sycamore Street in Brookfield, I wasn't looking for trouble. I was looking for calm. Simplicity. Me and my golden retriever, and a quiet cul-de-sac in a neighborhood called Maplegate Estates. At first glance, it was suburban paradise, manicured sidewalks, hello waves from friendly neighbors, birdsong in the morning. And the icing on the cake, no one recognized me. I had every intention of keeping it that way. I paid my dues, kept my lawn in line, was polite. I figured if I left them alone, they would leave me alone. That dream shattered within a week. The initial warning wasn't mailed. It was slipped into my mailbox as a threat. Heavy stock, overly formal tone, and a preposterous complaint. My hunter green mailbox was violating the community aesthetic cohesion standards. I had until the end of the week to repaint it to official beige or face a $150 fine. I chuckled, set the letter aside on the counter, and forgot about it. Until the next one came. This time, they demanded that I remove the Japanese maple in my front yard. A tree older than the development itself, now demonized for being a trip hazard. The sidewalk was 6 feet from the trunk. Then came more. A fine for overgrown grass the day after I'd mowed. A warning for inadequate seasonal decorations because I hadn't put up Christmas lights. Each letter bore the same looping signature. Karen Whitmore, HOA president. I caught glimpses of her every now and then. Forced smile, ghostly exercise gear, clipboard. Always watching. Initially, I thought she was merely a nitpicker. That changed when I saw her down on her hands and knees in my flower beds, measuring tape in hand. That's when it hit me. It wasn't about rules. It was about control. She retaliated. Her goons, Mara and Doug, started cruising my land in the name of routine inspections. I installed a security camera. When one night it abruptly broke down, I replaced it with an upgrade, night vision, motion detection, cloud uploads. They did not reckon with me. I wasn't a retiree who just happened to own a dog and a garden. I was a judge. I had experience documenting, building a case, playing the long game. The citations became ridiculous. Non-conformist trash can color. Obnoxious wind chimes. Insufficient utility concealment. I filed formal complaints, cited their own bylaws, and won every time. And then they stopped sending warnings. They stuck them on my door instead, flashing orange when I was gone. Then came the destruction of property. Small stuff to start. A gate left open, a porch light smashed. Then it escalated, tires slid, lawyer scum scrawled on my garage, a landscaping rock through the window. My dog trembled beside the smashed glass. I didn't sleep that night. I beefed up the whole operation. Locks, cameras, floodlights. Then I got to work. Scoured HOA meeting minutes, booked complaint records. The pattern was clear. Every homeowner who fought back was bullied out. I laid out the evidence in a board meeting. Quiet, professional, and meticulous. Photos, timestamps, police reports. Karen flashed that plastic smile and told me I was fantasizing. Paranoia on the part of a retired judge with too much free time. She'd tried to redefine me as the problem. I did not take the bait. I doubled back instead. Made more reports. Documented all the notices. Sent her emails after each cop interaction. Polite, concise, professional. Telling her the paper trail was growing. Here were the absurd citations. Volume of wind chime sound. Color of fence too unwelcoming. My fence was white. The same white it had been for eternity. Sent her a new letter. Signed it, Judge R. Whitaker. My first warning shot. She showed up at my lawn the following day, Doug behind her, holding a ticket for a hydrangea bush. Violates height limits. It's 38 inches, I showed her a tape measure. Limits 42. We have had complaints, she said. From who? You said it would have been me this time. Not yet, I told her. But if these false statements keep coming, I'll sue for injunctive relief. I'll depose all the board emails and financial documents. I'll sue this HOA so fast your attorney won't have time to bill you. Karen said nothing, just turned and left. I didn't budge. I let my silence be my response. They weren't done. Bullies never stop after one thread. But now they knew. I wasn't afraid of them. The fire occurred the one weekend I was gone. I'd accepted a last-minute invitation to deliver a rare speech to a judicial ethics seminar 3 states away. A sterile hotel banquet hall, humming with familiar colleagues and technical talk. I left Friday morning with a bag, a speech, and a storm brewing back home. Regardless of what I did, I just could not rid myself of the feeling of restlessness before I left town. I checked all the locks twice, activated the alarm system, and telephoned the police station to say that I was out. A tic born of years of rendering verdicts that angered violent people. I even asked my neighbor Ed, a couple of houses down the street, to look out for me. Ed was more bourbon than grit, but he was well-meaning. When I came home Sunday evening, my phone was ringing with calls, 6 in 10 minutes. The first a voicemail from Ed. He was quivery, fractured-sounding. Judge, your house. Jesus, call me, there was a fire. Then one from the police station, and one from the HOA. Subject, incident report, 14 Sycamore Lane. My stomach dropped. The pungent odor of charred wood was the first thing I smelled when I turned my corner onto my street. The air still retained a wispy smoke, like an unwilling ghost not ready to leave. My porch was in ruins. The garage doors were splintered inward, as if an unholy presence from the netherworld tore them apart. The second story fell partially over the first. Firefighters had cordoned off the yard with tape and cones, now scattered over a field of ash and melted siding. My knees nearly gave way. This was no accident. This was a warning. I walked the perimeter in silence, looking for anything that may have survived. The arson investigator briefed briefly. Started in back around midnight. No lightning, no electrical issue. Likely an accelerant. Got enemies? I didn't think twice. Only the type that wear khakis and carry clipboards. But my words hung when I reached the ruins of my study, the room where I kept my grandfather's law books, where I had spent thousands of hours writing the opinions that made me. Gone. Everything. Except one thing. Bolted in the floorboards of my office closet, the fireproof safe sat, charred on the outside, unbroken on the inside. Trembling, I picked it up. Documents, hard drives, court orders, HOA financial disclosures. Whistleblower letters someone had passed under my door weeks ago. The evidence, each of the incriminating parts of it, had survived. I did not scream. I did not cry. I simply closed the lid and sat up. Karen called it an unfortunate incident in her community email. We are sorry to hear about the unfortunate incident at 14 Sycamore and hope Mr. Whitaker heals soon. We have records indicating he was recently admonished regarding storage of paint thinner close to HVAC units. Though we cannot confirm any connection, this serves as a reminder to follow all safety procedures. She was insinuating that I had done it, that I had burnt down my own home. Before long, the gossip was floating around, Karen and her group whispering that I was a dotty retiree who was fixated on lawsuits and revenge, that I'd lost my mind. Some neighbors retold it over fences. Others served casseroles and looked away. I didn't hold it against them. They were scared. Not of me, of her. Of what Karen might do to them if they called the cops. Most people just wanted to mow their lawns, park in their driveways, and leave them alone. But I didn't need them. Because Karen had no idea who she was messing around with. She had no idea I was more than an old retiree with a gavel and pension. She had no idea that before I walked away, I was one of the most feared names in the oversight of the judiciary. That my courtroom had seen billion-dollar companies, senators, and federal agencies cower to settle before I dismissed. She had no idea that I'd assisted in exposing a real estate money laundering syndicate that directed foreign funds through rural development grants and sent 2 board members to prison. She had no idea that I still possessed the phone numbers of prosecutors, auditors, and forensic accountants who owed me favors. She did not know that I'd already been tracking her HOA's illegal finances, shell companies tucked away in landscaping contracts, emergency loans never employed for actual services. She did not know that I'd subpoenaed my own insurance company to obtain unredacted fire reports after her email made the rounds. She did not know I was building a case. A careful, meticulous one. One that was explosive, not with fire, but with subpoenas, discovery motions, and incontrovertible evidence. While posing for photos with flower arrangements, I was taking deposition summaries out. She thought I'd be silent, licking my wounds in the ash. But I was just getting started. Karen was unaware of the distinction between a threat and a consequence. A threat is a warning, a consequence is the action. She had bullied many before, bullied them into silence. But this time, she struck a match in the wrong courtroom. My first move was a quiet call to an old DOJ contact, public corruption, local agency, homeowners association abusing community power for private gain. I didn't need to be melodramatic. I used facts to talk. Within a week, I'd assembled an electronic file so big it erased a paralegal's computer. Bogus citations, kickbacks, coerced sales, coerced signatures, deception in the guise of beautification. Then the FBI intervened, quietly sealed subpoenas. Surveillance sanctioned, not on me, on them. The probe revealed it all. Overcharged contracts funneled to relatives. HOA funds siphoned into personal accounts. Inflated expense for non-existent repairs. The tipping point was when Brianna, a single mom, came forward. Karen had bullied her into signing a false noise complaint, used as leverage to threaten eviction. She said she would report me for daycare violations if I did, Brianna told investigators through tears. I don't even have a daycare. Others did too, dozens of them. The neighborhood that had once cowered came forward, with years of games of control and fear. And then came the raid. Federal officials and police. They surrounded the Maplegate HOA office, where Karen used to mock my theories. Karen wasn't home. She was out having brunch, boasting about a big announcement for the next board meeting. Instead, she was arrested at Toast. Her mugshot ran alongside a gardening blog quotation she once gave. "Power is the reward for order." That quotation didn't stand the test. The trial was brief. Federal court. Indictments, conspiracy, wire fraud, mail fraud, obstruction, racketeering. Her defense relied heavily on martyrdom, claimed she was overworked, that she had trusted the wrong individuals, that she knew nothing about the fire. That fabrication did not work. The fire report, gas station surveillance, and a blistering email did her in. Whitaker's bluffing, a little scare might shut him up. Dated the night of the fire. Signed Karen. The jury wasn't hesitant. Guilty on all counts. She got 15 years. No parole for the first 7. Sentenced to pay over $2 million in restitution. Others on the board took a plea. Some cried in court. Doug didn't. He just looked lost, as if he still couldn't comprehend how the empire collapsed. I declined every interview, ignored the reporters. The internet was filled with speculation, but I said nothing. Justice didn't need my interpretation. But the neighborhood needed a future. Now that the old board had dissolved, I helped shape a new one. Didn't run it, just shaped it. Rewrote bylaws, yielded to openness, term limits, open meetings publicized, conducted audits publicly. No more anonymous gripes boxes. Formed an ethics committee, not filled with professional politicos, but a lot of vets and retired school marms. Good ones. Backbone people. They wanted me to be president. Twice. Done my time on the bench, I told them. Got my porch swing back. And I received it. 6 months passed, and I came back to Sycamore Lane. The new house was not as large. But it was mine. My mailbox? Same hue. New paint job. No one uttered a word. But they nodded, they waved, and that was enough. The fairest justice came in April. A moving truck pulled up to Karen's former driveway. Volunteers trudged in bookshelves, beanbags, and desks. A children's local charity purchased the house with restitution funds. It became the Maplegate Youth Education Center, free tutoring, civics classes, after-school snacks for kids throughout the district. A plaque on the door read, "Justice grows here." I didn't put it there, but I smiled when I saw it. Peace didn't arrive overnight, but it did. The fear went away. Neighbors talked again about barbecues, not tickets, about kids, not compliance. I sat on my new porch swing, iced tea in hand, under a sky that felt honest again. Because real justice? It's not loud. It doesn't knock in the dark or hide behind clipboards. It walks through the front gate, stands in sunlight, and says, "I'm still here. You never intimidated me. You never could."